Hello. I've called each and every one of you here so we could have an important discussion about my creative critical reflection. My name is Rihanna, and I'll be talking to you about my Chef's Kiss production. The questions I'll be answering are about representation, engagement and distribution, development, and the different mediums of production. The first question: how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? Who the target is. The target audience for my film is as follows: people who are dependents, which is age 14 and below and 64 and above, extremely vulnerable and naive people, and those who are uncritical and gullible. Knowing who the target is important because in failure to acknowledge who your viewers are, it's easy to get lost in the process of figuring out what group you're creating content for. Another issue that may be the result of not determining a target audience could be a lack of success. Publishing content without planning to reach a specific group could lead to the uncertainty of who will consume it and monetary issues. Challenging conventions. My product challenges the conventions of the suspense genre because of its ability to effectively communicate the point of the film without needing ample time. Although my film opening was not lengthy, it still manages to use the other codes and conventions of said genre. Most suspense productions and openings take time to build suspense and have a climax point somewhere in the middle. But my partner and I chose to have the audience on their toes from the beginning to end. My project is meant to target any vulnerable viewers, whether that be children, teenagers, young adults, older audiences, or just anyone who's naive. The issue shown in my film is simply the fact that people accept things without a second thought. The main character of my production, Aaliyah, gets surprised with a birthday cake, and even though the film opening may not reveal the extent of what happens, it still leaves the audience with questions. Demographically speaking, a dependent is any person under the age of 15 or over the age of 65. The target audience may be able to empathize with the birthday girl, given that they are either extremely young or elderly. As a person who isn't classified as a dependent is more emotionally stable, the perceived audience may experience shock, worry, and sympathy more when they see her unexpected conditions. Their engagement with the story may deepen as a result of this emotional connection. Viewers are left wondering why and by whom someone would wish to kill the birthday girl. As the poisoning exposes an unsettling truth, the unsettling factor can keep viewers interested in the story and eager to find out answers. It could be distributed in a multitude of ways. Considering the ways technology is continuously advancing, digital media production allows for a possibility to reach new audiences because there would be no location accessibility barrier. Regarding solely digital distribution, I may decide to release the movie on a well-known video sharing website like Vimeo or YouTube. Streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime are other niche audiences for short films are other internet distribution options that may offer greater visibility along with prospective monetary benefits. Traditional routes to distributing a film include entering it in film festivals, pitching it to traditional media outlets, organizing independent screenings, and attending industry conferences or networking events. Of all of these options, I prefer to do a wide release to cinemas everywhere, followed by the other events if necessary. The film will only come out on online platforms 6 months after it has been streamed in theaters everywhere. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are having a splendid day at whatever time you're watching this. But you are now tuned in to an episode of Rihanna Rants. Today we'll be answering the question, how did your production skills develop throughout this project? My production skills have developed in a multitude of ways. The main skill that's enhanced during the creation of my project was planning. Now, planning was something that I learned is a must. You have to plan your idea out thoroughly, and you must be prepared to answer any difficult questions because they will be asked. You must plan who you need, the location of where they're going to be, what mise-en-scene is required, when everything and everyone is needed, and above all, what materials you're going to use for the project. Along with my planning and coordinating skills, my understanding of codes and conventions has also deepened. Now, going forth to create other media projects, I now know how to better my understanding of my audience by using typical codes conventions of the same category and genre. The next and final question I'll be answering is, how did you integrate technologies such as software, hardware, and online into the project? I could say I used a plethora of software, including Adobe Premiere Pro to edit both my film opening and the CCR. I used Adobe Illustrator to edit the Chef's Kiss logo that you saw in the film opening, as well as the Voice Memo app allowed me to transport audio clips and voiceovers that I needed. For hardware, I recorded part of my film off of a Canon Rebel T5 1200D. The majority of the film was created off of another Canon camera that I'm actually unsure of the name. And every time I used a professional camera, I did use a tripod to stabilize my shots. Now with these cameras, I used this professional compact flash adapter to retrieve my footage, as well as the assistance of my phone and my laptop, because if I didn't have my phone, I would not have been able to get the clips from the SD card in the camera to the computer. For some reason, it didn't allow me to, so I had to download the Canon Connect app, which allowed me to edit once I got the videos to my computer. Now, as far as online mediums, these are a few websites that I used. So throughout the process, I used Blogger, I used Google Drive to help me transport audio and video clips from YouTube or the Voice Memo app to the computer in Adobe Premiere Pro so I can edit. And I also used YouTube to help me better understand the codes and conventions of my genre. Now, Canva and Prezi are two things that also really helped me, even though they didn't play as much as a role as the software. So Canva helped me create the Chef's Kiss logo, and Prezi also is what I'm using right now. So yeah. And Prezi is the software I'm currently using now, so it's helping me in my creative process.